morning, everybody. We're talking about mustaches for some reason.
Morning somewhere.
Welcome to Crowdsurfing. I'm Tom Vassar.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla.
And I'm Chris Yee.
We wanted to start by saying thank you to some of our Kickstarter backers. We want to say thanks to Mike and Mackenzie in Delaware.
Hello.
Love them.
Thank you.
To Suzanne und Jens aus Bayern.
Ooh,
No,
you were
je
confident.
t'aime.
You had confidence. That's
To
something.
Lord Stein of Vancouver, Washington.
That
That's a
amuses
lord.
me.
Te amo.
Did not know we had lords in Vancouver, but
My
Lord.
mic's on.
Lord.
to
Lords of
Teresa
Vancouver.
and Victor Reyes, to Manuel Seibert, or Siebert, Tracy Troutman,
Hey.
I remember
Coming to
Tracy.
Dice Tower East. I know
Brett
that.
Yeah.
Kelso,
Name.
John Laguerre, Charles Leonard, and Melinda Humphreys.
Hey,
End on a good one.
Thank
yeah.
you.
You were
All
gonna stop
right.
on that.
Thank
That's
you,
good.
everybody.
One more.
I salute you.
Hey, if you like the Dice Tower, but you don't have time to watch us, or you're traveling and want to listen to podcasts, check out Dice Tower Audio, or I think you can find it at DTV Audio, it's called. It's just the audio of many of our shows, like this one and top tens and things like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you can find that at dicetowervideo.com, I believe.
I
It
don't
wouldn't be
remember the one.
video.
Wait, why
Isn't
did
it
change?
DT audio? DTV audio?
DTV audio is what we call it.
Oh, that's
I
what
don't
it's
remember the
called. It's
website.
something.
Dicetowervideo.com goes to
Oh dear.
something.
Abort.
Nope, that one's not there. dtvaudio.com?
I think I
No, that's under construction.
That's
Hey
our
Mike,
audio
what's
doc.
our website?
And Mike Keller will rest.
Either
know
Mike
it is
Keller or
DT.
Mike DeLisio. Either
I think
one.
it is
Somebody
DT
save us.
something slash, and then it goes to something else.
Yeah, well, if you search for
That's
DTV
it.
Audio,
Yeah.
you'll get it. It's that
DTV audio
Libsyn.
dot Lipson or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
What?
There you go.
Oh wait, what did we decide it is?
We
Oh,
are...
this.
Don't worry about it.
I'll
Okay.
know this better for next one. We are going to take a look at stuff that's on Kickstarter and crowdfund and GameFound and BackerKit and
BackerKit.
ends in the next 17 days, something like that.
Oh, because of next week is the thing.
Wait a minute.
Dice Stories. That's why it's a double-decker
It
episode.
is a double.
You did not
Double.
notice the vast amount of
Double.
I kind
projects?
of like it
Then-
felt like a lot, but I didn't
Then
put it together.
You missed one important
Can I
one.
have this?
What did I miss?
It would be what
never
would be
figured.
Mike's pick of the week.
I don't know what it is.
It's a Knizia double feature, Iliad and Ichor.
Well, bad.
I don't think I missed that one.
Because that ends in 15 days, 16 days, I think.
Science fiction.
Oh.
Because it just launched yesterday and only was running for like a week, 2.5 weeks.
Well, that's on them then. I mean, they're running a 2.5 week. We'll get it in. If it's in 15 days, we'll talk about it right when it's ending next time.
Oh,
We'll be their wrap party.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah. We
10
got
and a
it.
half minutes.
We got it. Mike can pick it then.
Go now. There's a fly.
Don't.
There is a fly.
You see it?
Yeah, no, but you have a hammer now. Defend yourself.
Shh, he didn't notice.
Anyway, no. We'll cover it in 2 weeks. So that's when we will do it. All right. You got an extra shout out now. Let's jump into what we do have here. Good grief. Wastelandia, a co-op and solo boss battler.
Let's go. I love Wasteland stuff and cute things as well.
Do you like when you put what it is in the title? Is that good or bad? I'm not sure. Like the co-op
This
and
is
solo
very
boss
like-
battler.
This one looks like an 80s nod in which it was cool to do these things.
I didn't say it's 70s.
No, I'm talking about the title of the game.
90s,
It's
yeah.
it's
We
called
actually
Boss
talk about
Battler.
Oh, a sub, like a.
Do you like when a game's
tagline.
called that? Like Wastelandia, a worker placement game.
I don't care. Yeah, it's
I
not
mean-
part of the title.
If it's a mechanism, I don't like it. But if it's something like that, like, oh, it's a co-op, it's like a descriptor of the... Like, co-op isn't really a mechanism, it's a type of game. You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
think
If
it's
that makes
okay.
sense, I'm fine with that.
A lot of trick-taking games do it. They'll be like, the King's Sweat, a tricky card game of trick-taking. You know, they love to do that kind of stuff.
King Sweat.
I think I'd
Trademark it
maybe
right
just
now.
for the visual purposes, because I like the picture, prefer it be on the back, like, you know, maybe the top of the back. But did you get him? Oh,
Nope.
that son of a stupid monkey face.
Where's my salt gun?
I got him.
It's a son of a stupid monkey face, bringing your life.
Jason Levine never watches our shows. He always calls me while we're live. All right.
So Wastelandia. It's a.
This looks awesome. You know what this game reminded me of? Two things. It reminded me of two things, okay? The first one was that Life in Reterra game because of the look. It has a
Yes.
really similar art style, because that one was also post-apocalyptic, so I lump them together. The other thing it reminds me of is a little video game that I actually played in What's Happening.
Yes.
Called Dicey Dungeons.
Okay.
You knew what I was talking about?
I was going to bring this up if you did, and I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, it looks
Me
like
too.
that game. You saw it. You were there. Papa.
False, I was not.
Anyway, you roll dice, and then you have all these little things that you can manipulate, the dice with to fight this big bad. It's very similar to that game.
Is that a Tommy Boy joke?
No, I don't know what you're
Okay.
talking. What are we talking
Never
about?
mind, keep
Wizard
going.
of Oz. You were there.
Oh, yeah, that's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it was more. Yeah, that's actually all my references are from the 30s or earlier.
Tom, Jason just called Mike. He wants you to call him.
Oh boy.
I'm going to check my phone.
Anyway, this looks really neat. What do you
No
think?
missed calls.
I think it looks really good. I like it. I like these little quick run co-op kind of games, it seems very simple. I love the spiral book if you turn it open.
Yes.
You roll the dice, you try to mitigate it, do the best you can, then you get to loot a little bit and then go on to the next round. I think it seems like very simple gameplay with high reward, because you are trying to puzzle the manipulation, that kind of stuff. I'm really interested in this one.
It's got a roguelite feel to it a little
Yeah, and
bit.
I really like the
That's cool.
the 90s look, that 90s kind of grungy post-apocalyptic look.
So if it is 90s, I said 80s, but I
you
guess
said it, yeah.
90s
I think they say in the video specifically.
90s makes more
'Cause
sense.
I
They have the boom box and the whatever and the
Roller skates.
Yeah.
yeah, that's more 90s. Yeah, that's true.
I think one of the things that I really appreciate about this, I haven't done it, but you can play this right now on Board Game Arena. And there's a few games that have done that. Say, hey, it's playable now on a very common website. Go try it before you back it.
Are they doing that as playtesting, or is it a pretty much done though?
I don't know.
I think it's just to show it off.
I think so, yeah. So I like that.
Kudos. It's kind of like making the rule book available. This is a step beyond that, making the gameplay available.
And this
Yeah.
is one of the backing levels is just a print and play of it as well, right?
I
Am
think
I thinking
so.
of the right one where it's like a $10 print and play
Yeah.
for everything, or you actually get the spiral bound notebook and all the way up to like custom dice. So I like that they have a lot of different. Oh, I love that rat. A lot of different options. Look at him. He's so adorable. He's so proud of those legs. What a fella.
Every day is leg day for that rat.
Yeah, well,
glad he's
no,
proud of them.
He's proud of them. I didn't say he should be proud of them.
Where
I just
is
said he
his
is.
body?
We
What
don't
do you mean?
know.
He's behind that arm.
It's behind that arm and above the shorts. He's leaving a lot to the imagination.
He really is. Okay. Anyway, this looks different, and different I think is good.
agree.
We talk a lot about looks. I'm hoping it plays well. Looks good. All right. We got a lot to go. Okinawa, the last battle of World War II, solo game of the month.
This guy is like pumping these games out. It's like,
Like one a month,
something.
I think.
Is it that much?
We just got a game from
No.
him in yesterday.
Is it?
I
Did
think
it
it's
meaning?
actually a game of
Wait,
the
is
month,
this?
yeah.
the
Oh,
guy
I thought
that,
it meant it won the game of the month. I thought it
just
was
got
like
one in
a
a
winner
video
of the
cassette.
game of the month competition. I didn't realize
Nakatomi
it was
Tower or whatever.
Okay, 'cause he
I've
did
already
that-
reviewed it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And
He
then
did that.
that
Isn't that
rat showed up and he
I
had
don't
no
remember.
body.
He did that Rome one. You were interested.
Well, you
in.
would know that.
It's
That-
true.
False.
Now that you're done with your whatever conversation was going on there.
About the game, yeah.
No, we're talking about the designer. So this guy just sent a video cassette
Yes.
yesterday. It's the same guy.
Yes.
That what's it called?
Kawasaki Plaza. It's the ripoff of Die Hard. And I say ripoff with as much love as I can muster. Yeah, it's that guy.
Okay, so that's the same designer.
Yeah, Gabe Barrett, yeah. And it's the same person who did the Rome one last month or 2 months ago. It was a Roman-themed game
Oh,
that I was
okay.
really tempted by. I almost backed it, and I didn't back it. And I say that in the most loving way possible.
And then the last one.
This one looks pretty
Yeah, what
good.
was?
What I'm noticing with a trend here is that the games are not little dinky games. This game of the month thing.
Sure.
Like it's not an 18 card pack of whatever, like Button Shy does, which are great, but they're tiny. These aren't tiny games.
No.
This is a bunch of moving parts, a bunch of stuff in there. Great looks, neat ideas contained within them. I'm a fan of this series.
Yeah, but are they going to be able
In
to
theory, I
continue
haven't played
that
them yet.
every month?
That was my concern. Is like, where's like he's getting completely different styles of art for each of these that we've seen.
That's
They're all
true.
very unique and individual. I think that's fantastic. It's if they can keep it up, but how do you keep that up with the production of all of these at the same time as they start working
people are
on all
getting
those
them.
logistics and having 7 and 8 at a time,
Right.
So
Yeah.
Mike Heller says, I'm thinking of something. Don't tell me what I'm thinking, Mike.
Hunted
Okay?
Kobayashi Tower. Yeah, for some reason we got a copy of that in the mail yesterday. That was in a video cassette.
I guess the new printing this line, they come like that.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I don't like video cassettes as...
Yeah, I'm glad they're using video cassette, the
old cases.
cases for something. It's
Those-
not really that.
They open too easily, those cases, after a while. You start snapping them in and out. After a while, they start popping open.
Yeah.
All right. Apothebakery, the Culinary Alchemists. This one's doing tremendously well here.
I think that's
from
because of the advertising. I've seen this
Lux
everywhere about
Lupo
15
Games.
times.
And it's pretty. It's cute.
Right,
rather.
it's that cute little.
Yeah. It looks like those T-shirt people. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I did find thematically cute is you're trying to heal these little guys,
Yeah.
and if you don't heal them, by the time that they time out, they become ghosts and they haunt you. So it's like, oh, you get a boon if you help, and if not, they haunt you and become something
Right.
bad. I thought that was a cute little mechanism, but other than that, it seemed like pretty straightforward. The gameplay seemed to match kind of the look and the vibe, what you would expect.
Doesn't seem complicated. The way I guess is you have a hand of cards that everyone is the same, and you pick 3 at a time. Secretly reveal them. I think that's
Yeah, you
potentially a neat
gather
hook.
the things, you go out and forage the things, and you squeeze them for the items, you bake them into stuff. Yeah, it looks cute. It looks sugary though. Like it's not just
that's
sweet.
good.
It looks,
Sugary is good.
like, it looks like way over the top. Like they're really leaning into the cutesy thing to the point that I'm a little.
Nauseated.
Yeah, actually.
That's right,
I feel
yeah.
like I need insulin just looking at the game. And I'm like, all right, I get it. And then some people will love speaking in baby voices to this game, but it's like, it's past that for me. It's like too much
There's
cute.
cake in
Yeah.
this game.
Marketed well, and it is a product that sells itself well.
Yeah.
I think it's not too saccharine.
All right, before we go to our next project, we have a quick video from Mr. Mark.
Ooh, Mark 3?
This spotlight is brought to you by The Winds of Numasera, an engine-building strategy board game for 2 to 4 players, featuring asymmetric factions, multiple win conditions, and a vivid fantasy world, offering a new experience every time you play. Winds of Numasera is a kingdom-building strategy board game that shares the same world and characters as the acclaimed graphic novel from Dark Horse. Each player controls a different kingdom that comes with a trio of unique heroes to play as and customize. There are multiple ways to win the game, and whoever is first to any of them wins. Vast, beautiful, and dangerous, the world of Aethera is full of unique cultures and kingdoms, all vying for control of the landscape, and each will stop at nothing to advance its power. As the leader of your people, your goal is to amass resources and create the most powerful kingdom in all of Aethera, so that your name will be remembered long after you are gone. There are several ways to achieve this, by conquering strongholds, slaying your opponent's heroes, mastering skills, or earning new class titles. You can rule benevolently, cruelly, or anything in between. The choice is yours. So whichever path you take, you will need to acquire assets to advance your heroes and grow your kingdom. Through exploration of Aethera's many distinct environments, you will uncover rare items and enlist new allies to assist in your campaign. But exploration also has its risks. Aethera is a dangerous place, full of ancient secrets and hidden obstacles, so be ever vigilant. The winds of Numasera are blowing. For more information, please check out the campaign over on Kickstarter.
Okay, let's get back into what we got here. We went from one cute thing now to another with fluffy dragons.
Oh my goodness.
Fluffy dragons isn't even trying to pretend otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
There's several projects this week that was like, Pokemon exists.
Yep.
Now they exist in our world too.
Yep.
Yeah, although it's kind of weird because like this is not what I would typically think a dragon looks like. That looks like a rabbit with wings, right?
Looks like every other Pokemon to me.
Oh,
I can't
Including
tell
the
what-
rock
I mean,
Pokemons. Rockamon. Rock 'em on, baby.
I'm still not sure what you're talking about. Anyway, so this is Fluffy Dragons. It comes with some nice little cute things. It feels like it's a small little game. I'm hoping that the price isn't too much there. Yeah, I get that you said that it's a ripoff of Pokemon, and that's very obvious. Some of these look really close to Pokemon.
Those are not my words.
But
It was my
I
meaning.
think it looks like Digimon.
but I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. A lot of things look like other stuff.
Yeah, I think if you like that look, that's fine. It's not like nobody can make these kind of characters. I don't think it's like a copyright on a style. You know, so I'm
absolutely not.
fine with it. It's just I just don't care for it.
And I think that there should be more actual Pokemon games. And if they're not actually making them,
Then whatever, yeah.
then
Yeah.
right?
Find a
The-
facsimile.
The little bluffing in this didn't look that interesting to me, though.
That's
say-
kind of where I'm at. The gameplay didn't look
yeah.
interesting. I don't mind the goofy-looking critters. Actually, the video is insane.
Oh my gosh, it's really quality.
I was like, this is based on something? Because that video is very well done.
Yeah.
And also leans into the Pokemon
Also,
thing.
It
Pokemon
does, it
episode,
does.
right?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow, you guys got an animator to do this legit?
Yeah.
Look
no,
at that
it's really
guy.
cool.
Horsey-mon.
Well, they're not making them go into little balls.
But it almost had this. The gameplay almost had this feel of like revolving paper rock scissors. You know, where there's
Kinda,
four colors, and this one beats this one, but it's beat by this one unless you play a card and change it. And I was like, this feels like trick taking, but it's rock paper scissors revolving. I'm not interested in the
the
gameplay.
bluffing, a little bit of
And then the
bluffing,
bluffing,
right?
you put bluffing
Yeah.
in there too. Why not social deduction? Just make it
Well, if
a
we get a
conglomerate
copy
of
of
my
this-
least favorites.
I'll play it with the kids. They might like it.
I'd try it. Some things get seated on the board, because that was my question for a long time. I was like, why would I pick any spot? Like, oh, some of them get crystals. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh, they could have communicated
Yeah.
that a little bit better, I think. But, yeah.
Seismic. I know how to pronounce this because well, we played this. We did a live playthrough of this game
Yeah, I thought this looks familiar, and I
Okay.
couldn't remember
well
why.
over a
It
year
was.
ago, I think.
Okay.
I also remember
Oh.
who won that play.
Who won?
It was
Oh,
me.
you don't
Oh,
say.
how surprising
What?
that you remembered.
You said it so manly.
Yeah.
I'm at the max.
You got a fluffy dragon.
Mock it all you want. It was a victory. I really liked this game. It was a lot of
it
fun.
because you won?
It looks... No. If I only liked games I won, there would be very few games I liked.
That would be awful. It's true. Be like. this
Anyway,
kid gets
the-
a
Top
two.
Assholes top 12 games
The
of all time.
Kickstarter did not fund, or it came close to funding, or something. They pulled it. I remember that. And so now it's being redone, and it's doing much better this time. I think the miniatures look better than they did when we first saw them, but they were all like, they were very plastic. I don't know if you remember that. Were you in that game there? Like the whole thing was like a pile of plastic.
It was
But I-
very prototypey, I remember.
Right.
I don't remember. I don't think I was in this. No.
I remember them selling it though, as in they're functional, right? It's like it actually means something to change the miniature and to build it up.
Yeah,
Right.
that's your win condition. You got to assemble all the parts of your rocket and then actually launch. One of the stretch goals is a big red button that says launch. And if you're the winner, you escape the planet that blows up, you get to push it. And I think
Did
this,
it do something?
it's so funny because I look at this and I think Kickstarter excess, this is over the top and everything. And it looks so complicated. Like it shows you,
Yeah.
here's your player dashboard, so it has all the information simplified. And it's just huge amounts of text. But because we played it, it was actually shockingly playable. Like,
Okay.
it was
It
not
was, like,
a mess.
approachable.
Yeah, it worked rather well, I thought.
Apparently, I have played this.
You were in the live play.
I don't remember thinking it was that complicated, but we did have the designer with
Not
us
me.
teaching it to us. I just remember
Yeah.
enjoying it. My biggest concern about this is I don't like this box that they keep
Which in?
touting there. Well, they're like, it fits in a Galaxy. I'm like, yes, but I would like multiple games, this one here, to fit in a Galaxy. This box looks too big from this picture
That's
to me.
their big box all-in pledge, because they have like a bunch of expansions in the campaign. They have the Eurogame expansion, which I thought was an interesting touch, so you can play with more.
Oh, you're right. Euro mode.
Yeah, fewer player versus player interaction points. You can just complete objectives on your own type stuff and have a little bit of interaction. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But they have a lot of expansions in here. You can get just a core box that looks normal sized.
Okay.
But
And that's what I
probably
would
bigger.
want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want the co-op expansion. To me, I want a game that's co-op or not, if possible.
You
And I
don't-
enjoyed the game.
You don't want the button? If
I do want
the launch button?
I also want the button.
I
It's a
think you have to have
stupid
the
stretch
big
goal, and I
box.
want it.
I think at this point we need to give up with this whole the game fits in a Calyx. I want a box that I can put my Calyx in.
Well, hang
I
on.
want it to be that big.
Oh,
We're getting there.
hold up.
Dominance. This one is...
The coin game of coins. You put a coin on a coin,
Chris,
and then you can move the
Your
coin,
mic.
and then 2 coins becomes a 3rd coin.
Is it dead?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's alive.
Maybe it's turned down? I don't know.
Anyway, I
Oi!
really like this game. Was just
Was this one that was based on a... Wasn't there a card game that was just one card with coins called this?
Coin Age. I
Oh,
thought.
Coin Age. I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Yeah.
What is... This is from GeoChicks.it, I think. I don't know.
yeah, it's an Italian studio. Yeah. I don't. I was very like confused by this. It's like a micro game, and I read this explanation and I still didn't get it.
Right.
This
What?
This one does not have a video on it, and I thought this really would have benefited him because it sounds simple,
Right.
but didn't follow the written explanation.
Well, and we have multiple projects this week that have 1 minute, how to play in 1 minute.
Yes.
You know, and they're like up to a minute and a half, whatever, not rush. It's not the how to play. It's like actual, informative. And this really could have benefited from that because I feel like you can probably tell me how to play overview in a minute, reasonably. Please do.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I know. I was confounded. Confounded, I say.
Cohors Cthulhu Tactics Adventure War Game. You're fighting the cults of Cthulhu. There's not a lot. Maybe I'm incorrect here. I don't think I am. There's not a lot of miniature games with Cthulhu involved.
Especially Roman themed ones.
You know what,
I
though?
was like, what is this? Romans meets Cthulhu in a miniatures game. That's cool.
I know. I was saying, if someone was sitting at a table playing that and they were like, I'll teach you how to play, I got it set up, I'd be like, I might do
I'm
this.
kind of tempted, you know?
that's-
And then the ruler would come out and be like, no! I would run away.
I just thought it was a funny theme. And
I like it. I like the vibe here. I like the look of it.
All right, but we don't have time. We don't have time. Let's get to Zeppelin Raider. The World War I
Compass
Zeppelins.
2nd edition.
This is from Compass Games. This is their 79th Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They are just pumping
Wow.
them out. This is another one where we're kind of just showing it to you if this is something you might be interested in. I don't think we're going to get this, especially with all these add-ons.
Yeah, they definitely have a
Totally.
fan base, though, for sure.
yeah,
Right,
and it's a
Compass
perfect place for them. Hey, this is available. You
Yep.
can back it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Difficulty, medium.
for them.
Come on.
Hunt for Blackbeard. This is not the only pirate-themed board game you will see this week.
No.
There are several.
2-player game only. Asymmetrical sides. Kind of a war game-ish vibe for 2 and 2.
This is from Fort Circle. I know they've done other stuff that we have played. The Votes for Women, right?
Votes for Women,
Oh,
Shores
okay.
of Tripoli. They have Halls of Montezuma coming out. I like what they do. Like, I'm not a huge historical war gamer kind of person, but they make ones that are very approachable and more attractive than the average war game, I think. So this one has some hidden movement, the 2-player asymmetry there. It seems interesting. It seems like seems like one of the most approachable Volko Runka games. He's usually making like the coin games, very involved, very complicated. And this,
Oh, that's who
Doesn't-
designed this? I did not see that.
yes, yeah.
Ah.
So it seems like one of the most approachable ones that he's made. I'm interested.
30 to 45 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same type of thing with like Shores of Tripoli. That's what they do.
X, Seekers of Fortune, an action-packed adventure card game. This is like a TCG, but it's not one.
Not the only one either. Again, and we'll see more of that this week.
Mega Moth Studios. The problem with this one is when you look at the table there and you look at that doesn't say anything. It's a bunch of circles of color.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of these, and I know that Magic the Gathering has mana cards, and they kind of look like just a big symbol. I get that. But these games with that, and then the cards that just match those symbols, makes me feel like, wait, is this just like a set collecting game, and you threw some cards with
Right.
special abilities on top of that?
That's kind of what
That's
it feels
what that
like.
feels like.
But that
right?
being said, I would play a game like that more easily than a big complex CCG.
And I would definitely jump into something like this over one with like a wall of text on it.
I get that.
You know, or like one that looks just like Magic and there's 15 different symbols to check all around and all these key words. This is definitely more approachable. Being said, it also doesn't seem super exciting.
I don't like those cards, the matching, like, hey, I have a purple and a blue and 2 yellow. I do the thing. That's just not, doesn't psych me out. You know, I'm just not excited by it.
Yeah.
It looks like a neat theme, kind of, again, what is it, Indiana Jones-esque vibe to it. I like the TCG adjacent thing that looks like a trading card game but isn't. But I'm not, mechanically, I wasn't jazzed here.
I'll tell you, this is one, though, that I'm kind of holding hope out for this.
Yeah.
When this comes out, I'm going to take a look at it because
I love when they do this stuff. Stick a card game in a box, make it expandable if you must, whatever. But it's all in there.
Yep.
This is the full game. This is everything you made. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, artifacts.
We looked at that last week.
Bye, artifacts. Get out of my face.
Okay, Gamelax, epic 3D printed game library.
I know. First off, I gotta say, I know that this fits in a Calyx. That's why it's called that. I don't think Gamelax is
Right.
the best name.
Hey, you getting old? Having a hard time? Try
Keep
some
swallowing
Gamelax.
your meeples. Gamelax.
Yeah, it sounds like a way to get out of a game. You know,
Also, I
like,
don't think-
some game lax. Oh,
Yeah.
it's getting boring. Where's my game lax?
Where's my D4?
Yeah.
Gamelax.
I don't think they should be naming it after. Well, they're also meeple keepers, so they're in double jeopardy right now. I got Hasbro and IKEA coming after you, but I don't think you should name your company after an IP that someone else has. Like if I said I made a game that works in Disneyland and I called it Mickey's Funhouse, that's pushing that line a little.
Yeah, right.
Now that being said, it's very interesting that you can basically, if you have Calyxes and IKEA has a very specific set of furniture that you can get, drawers and things, and if you want other things, and you want, you're 3D printing this stuff, right?
Yeah, you're 3D printing all of it.
That's a lot to
That's my
3D
thing.
print.
This is something that I want produced for me.
Good night.
I
yes.
don't want to print failure. I don't want the little printing lines. I don't want, if this is on display in my game room, living room, wherever, I don't want it 3D printed. You know, I want it produced.
Also, just out of curiosity, so on my game shelf, I have some games, and I might, and Roy might too, have this little drawer you pull out with Magic cards in it. Why would I have a drawer of Legos next to that?
Well, you could.
I think it's just-
they're saying, like, you know, you could have your other hobbies as well.
Look, it's for the family.
Yeah.
So like, you
guess.
just make a Calyx shelf into a Lego thing? I can see that.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
Oh,
this
I
is
do
cute.
like this card display thing a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
That's great. And again, if this was,
It's a huge waste of space, to be
That's
fair.
probably-
I think
yeah.
in one Calyx cube, I'm sorry, no.
I don't think
That
that's a
is-
Calyx cube there.
It is.
What do you mean? It's all
Oh, you're right. It
Calyxes.
is Calyx cube. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's
That's
all
exactly. That's the gag.
I just wish it wasn't 3D printed. See that Maracaibo? Doesn't that look almost a little bowed?
Yeah,
It
because
does,
they
that's-
don't
yeah.
have- They pop up and you can remove it and stick it in new holes and they basically
And they go
lock.
back down, yeah.
So it's gonna bow a little bit.
So that is why I do like that, because you could put one of those shelves above it, so
Yeah.
you're not wasting that, you know, whole upper half of the Calyx cube.
Yeah.
But again, like you're saying, like I think this is a fantastic project. I like all the different things it's offering, all the
Yeah.
different. It's like going to IKEA, you know, and choosing what accessories you want to go. I really like it. I just don't want it 3D printed.
Right.
I absolutely want it produced, production quality, you know, not printed at my local library.
Plus, if I want to get everything they're showing here, I'm going to be printing day and night for like 4 months.
I suppose you could order these from like some of those 3D print shops that have, you know, those
that a thing?
mega
Well, yeah,
ones.
yeah.
No,
but
it
it's-
is. There was one at Dice Tower West. That's just all they do.
They do, yeah. You can do that too. But again, it's still 3D printed. I want it produced. You know, like I don't, like a broken record.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I want
100%.
production quality.
You want it produced.
Ideally, it'd be produced, yeah. Yeah.
Such a jerk. All right. Anyhow, Ada's Dream. a medium-heavy Euro game with a dice rondel, where you're working with Ada Lovelace to build the first mechanical computer.
This is
from Alley-Cat.
really, really a cool game, and one that I really, really want to like, but I'm like, oh, math. So much math. Like you're building the columns and the rows, and then you can decide which ones multiply, but then add or subtract, and I'm like, oh, I love everything. I love the theme. I love what it's doing, all the different parts, and it just seems like very up my alley for a Euro game. Oh, until you start giving me multiplication symbols and additions that like symbols and equations.
Computers are scary.
Computers are scary. They're scary.
I tend to like Alley-Cat games more often than I don't like them. So this one I'm very much interested in this. Last year, what was the game I really...
Arborea.
Arborea,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that
Yeah,
one.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dice Hospital and... They recently...
What else did they do?
My bad.
Did they redo? Are they the one who did Amun-Re?
No,
Yes.
that's Meeple, whatever.
Oh, okay.
No, but they
That was the cat people, yeah. It was these people.
was it them doing Amun-Re?
I thought it was.
Okay, maybe so.
Anyway, yeah, they've made some really gorgeous games. This one's a little less color barfy than Arborea.
Which it needed. It needed to be calmed
This one
down
actually-
a little bit for functionality.
just
You know what I
a
mean?
little
And I
bit.
thought it was gorgeous. I mean, that's not a slight on the art. It was just readability was a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, but this looks amazing.
This looks closer to the game they came out with in 22, which was Autobahn.
Yeah.
It feels like it's in that same
Yeah,
category of a
yeah.
hefty game. I like how it looks. I like the theme a lot
I
too.
do, too. I think it's
so
really
this one's
cool.
very, very interesting to me.
This is one I very much want to like a lot.
The one part I did not love was they had a little banner that said like our biggest board ever. Like, no.
Oh, I don't know that again. Maybe after their last word, Arborea, which we said was too small. Remember?
Maybe.
Oh,
right.
it's that's to take that dice tower. I see what they
I don't
did.
know if
Well
it's that
played.
smooth.
Well
All right,
played.
Clash D-Day Special Edition.
Oh, I missed this.
This
one.
is.
Keep scrolling. This cracks me up. Keep going.
Hang on, look at this picture.
Keep going.
Is this the same artist as the?
Why?
Is this the same
Oh,
artist
did you
as
see the
that?
video?
Yes, the entire video is
The vi-
basically
It's useless. I'm sorry, the whole video is like music that is like adjacent to the score for Saving Private Ryan with slow pencil drawings, footage of these characters, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
sounds-
sorry. No. You just wasted a prime opportunity to say something about your game. The only thing you're saying about your game is you think it's really, really important. That's an awful idea. You're wasting prime real estate is those
Yeah.
2 minutes you've got me for where I click the button and watch the video.
I think this looks really, really good though. I like this idea of it almost has a MOBA feel to it.
Okay.
And again, hang on,
Wow.
give me a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a bad page.
I wonder if it was meant to be stuff like that, like in these graphics, meant to have information, but there just wasn't
Well, it
enough
is
blank
great
space.
art.
It really is.
yeah. I think it might be a neat game presented poorly.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
it say who the artist is? Is it the same one who did that World War I co-op game?
No, it's not that person. Yeah, but the artist who did
Grizzled?
Grizzled?
The Grizzled?
Yeah.
they
No.
passed away.
So I'm going
Okay.
to go with no.
All right. Oh, here it
That's
is.
my guess.
So the designer is Elwin, and
Oh,
I mean-
Min and Elwin?
yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Okay, good.
Like, we're
Yeah.
sure that's who that is?
Well, I doubt there's a second Elwin in the industry who goes by just one name. No, I'm not being.
Designer
Okay.
of Lost Ruins of Arnak. to me,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm just
Is that what we're
curious.
thinking this is? And they wouldn't anywhere on this whole page say from the
From the
designer of
designer.
Lost Ruins of Arnak?
Right,
If
that's what I'm
so,
like, come on.
that might be the biggest boneheaded move this whole page
Well,
has
maybe
made.
they want to be careful.
He might want separation from that.
He
I don't
might, I
know.
mean,
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, real easy. Let's just look at.
No, don't do it. Do not Google things.
Yes, absolutely.
Save search on.
I have some suggestions.
Dun, ding. It's spelled differently, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's not the same
Why don't you
person.
look at the game and then look at this game? Is that what you went? Because you went to the.
Now I went to Lost Ruins of Arnak because that seemed like the
Okay,
yeah,
so
go to this game on BGG, and then
Oh, you're right. It
click
is
on the guy
it's a
from
single
there.
eye. So my casual comment before, foolishness. I
Are you
apologize.
apologizing?
I
Oh! I love it. Woo! It's a good day.
And I remember who won that game.
All right. Well, it still looks cool. All right. Unstoppable, a card crafting game by John D. Clair. This is, who's the publisher here?
I missed
Renegade.
this, like, whole chunk.
You missed this?
I missed this and the last one.
Ooh.
John D. Clair is
Wow.
definitely not for a while I thought he was kind of like AEG, he was their guy doing that stuff, and he still is designing games for them, but he did some stuff for Brotherwise, doing stuff here now for Renegade, so that's interesting to see. And it's also interesting that Renegade is doing some more stuff because they kind of have been really leaning into the IPs
Yeah.
and their Hasbro branch, or their stuff they bought from Hasbro.
This line of solo hero games apparently is still going strong.
Is this based on the G.I. Joe game? No, it can't be.
What?
Because it's John D. Clair.
What are y'all talking about?
I don't
Are you
know.
talking about
Okay.
IP-wise? Or
No. The
game.
G.I. Joe game from Renegade, sorry.
No,
The
I think it's
deck
a completely
building?
different mechanism, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is its own thing. Anyway, this series of games is solitaire-only games. I played one of them. They did a post-apocalyptic ran, something Wreckage or Run Wreck.
Zeppelin Raiders, I think.
Yeah,
right?
and then some other one recently. They've done it. Like, they've got like 4 or 5 games in this line. This one looks very clever. There's a little bit of his classic card crafting in it, actually. But instead of the cards being transparent, they just have a little piece missing on the side. Good.
Which is cool.
Why is nobody copying that?
Because John D. Clair will show up at your house
Absolutely.
and backslap you.
No, I mean, seriously.
He's a
I do
scary guy.
declare-
It's
Canvas, right, and almost nothing else, really. But
Yeah.
Canvas is not even like cycling through and reusing those
They
cards.
got his permission for
I
Canvas.
just really like that mechanism in this thing a lot.
I do too.
My only concern about this one is when we look at everything here,
Yeah,
it's
not
super
enough.
busy. It's not enough. No, but it's very busy. And
It
maybe
really
it's just the
is.
graphics of this Kickstarter. Maybe
No, it's a lot. This is a solo game, and the MSRP for the cheapest one is like $50 or something. It's quite a bit.
So it's solo
75,
only?
60, I don't know.
Is it
60.
solo only?
And
Yeah.
co-op.
And co-op.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Sorry.
I think it's like 2-player co-op, maybe.
Okay.
But
Really? That's weird. Why did they put it in the solo hero line then?
Well, because you can still play it
Well,
solo,
because they
I
have
guess.
a line to sell.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's true. Oh, yeah. This is clearly kind of the standout. This is the one I've heard people talk about most. So they're like, there's a whole line of these.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good marketing, I guess. I'm super excited.
Interesting. I'm sad
Interested
I
to try
missed
this
that.
one.
I'm going to have to look it up.
All right, Skytear Horde campaigns.
Is that one we played?
So, Skytear
Yeah, the
Horde.
first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys played the first
I
one?
reviewed it, the first one.
And?
It's very CCG style game. It had some production issues. I thought it was kind of a by the numbers game. It was not very interesting. I forget what I gave it, a 6 or a 7. It's all right. I remember reading on the Kickstarter page that they were going to be, we're updating this, we're changing that, we're retightening up this other thing. We just had one of these show up.
One
The
of
second one, and I haven't even touched it. You said you would look at it. The new
Oh,
whatever.
You're right. I
Horde,
did say,
Skytear Horde.
because the artwork really appeals to me.
The artwork's great.
Yeah.
The game was just kind of, it was okay. So this is a third version of the game, and you can put all these things together. By the way, it kind of has a tower defense vibe to it. You deck build, you take your people up against the baddies, what have you. It's all right. It's all
the
right.
third version within like a year and a half, though.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Like,
But I think it's one that people are going to want more and more stuff for. I mean, obviously, it has 1,700 backers. Like, oh, you got more? It almost has that collectible card game feel.
Exactly.
I want
very
more
much.
stuff for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah, it was very reminiscent of that.
All right, Port Royale. No, Port Royal. But a very different game. Here's your second pirate game. This one's a miniature pirate game. So, again, not necessarily in our wheelhouse, but I just like pirates.
It looks really
It
cool.
does, yeah.
The setting of this is neat. It's some. I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen something like this setting for a miniature skirmish game. And also, the whole town is supposed to go through earthquakes, and buildings will like fall over and squish troops and stuff.
I'll tell you what, this game,
Yeah.
Interesting.
the most interesting thing it did for me is I went and looked up this earthquake, which was a real thing.
Yeah.
So apparently they had it in 1692. They had this earthquake that hit Jamaica, and it like just wrecked thousands dead. Apparently, where they had built this town, the Port Royal, the ground was very porous, and the earthquake basically liquefied the dirt.
Oh wow, like kind of like a quicksand effect
Yeah,
or something
and
like
it
that.
swallowed
Yeah.
the buildings.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa,
It's like,
smokes.
what? This is crazy stuff. So it was an interesting read. If you're interested in the
That's
theme,
cool.
give it a
It's not
Google.
cool. I mean, it's yeah.
It's interesting. It's just kind of like, I
interesting.
never heard of this earthquake in the late 1600s. It was an interesting topic, so that's cool that they're using that.
Agreed.
It's also interesting. These guys are local to us.
Really?
They're from Miami. I met
Oh.
one of these guys at Barnes & Noble one time. I was there
Like-
looking at board games, and he was like, hey, are you going to Gen Con? Because I was also looking at board games. We started, and he said he made miniatures, because these are their other games. They make this Blood and Plunder, which, if I remember correctly, Trey Parker really likes this miniatures series, and he was telling me about
okay.
that. We just randomly bumped each other at Barnes & Noble, and I thought, oh, it's kind of cool. There's a miniature company here in town. I mean, we don't play these games, but it just was still cool.
I've heard of Oak and Iron. I've heard of that one.
Oak and
Oak
oh,
and
okay.
Iron, yeah. I've
Okay.
heard of that one. I guess they're always piratey.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
their
so.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it works.
Cool.
Yeah, that's
The
interesting.
Caribbean area. That makes sense.
All right, let's jump over to Backer Kit to take a look at Wild Earth Dice. This one has 1,000 backers. That's a
This
lot
one's
of people.
1,000 worlds? What does it say? What's it called?
Visions of 1,000 Galaxies.
Ooh.
Each galaxy has 1,000. That's 1,000,000 stars, baby.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it when
These-
the dice projects go highfalutin
I was
like
like
that.
extra, super extra.
Yeah.
I tend to
Yeah.
like these dice that have the swirly
Liquid
bob
core.
inside, liquid
Yeah.
core.
Liquid
And they
core.
also did a really good job on this showing them off.
They
Yeah.
did, and
These pictures are great.
and a lot of them look legible. I like how big the numbers are. For some reason, they look proportionally
Well,
bigger. Not just on the bigger dice. I mean, proportional to the dice size.
The
Like
basketball-sized die. Yeah.
right.
Okay,
no,
so
but I'm saying like
There's actually-
proportional.
They're
The
like-
actual usable ones
Yeah.
are good. Yes.
Yeah, they're like, this is to be read, not because it's pretty. I agree.
Right.
Those numbers are huge.
Is this worth 90?
Is it worth $90? Is that what you just said?
I know it's not. I know I shouldn't spend money on
But
this.
does it swirl in the middle?
Yeah, look how
Oh,
awesome it
Tom.
Tom,
looks.
I got 2 words for you.
Oh, wow. that was a-
Liquid core.
Can you choose?
You know what else I have? The words would be like, spend your money wisely.
Not 2 words, though.
If that was $30, I'd buy it in a second.
I'd like that one right there. I think that gold is well done.
$100,
See
man.
it.
It's not $100.
It's 99, Tom. You're
$99.
fine. It's
Liquid
fine.
core.
Think how satisfying it'll be to watch it swirl.
You know what, though? It would
I have
sit
a
on the
screen-
shelf here
I
and
have
it
a
would never swirl.
screensaver I can sell you for half the price. It'll also swirl.
The whole time I'm just.
I could make us
hypnotically
roll
watching
it in the
spin
RPG to make
Oh,
this is an important roll.
There has been a couple times you're like, only if you get it that time where it's like, only if you get a 20, Joey, and he did. It has to be like the special roll. I think you have to have it, Tom.
Oh, gee, why are we doing this to
I don't
him?
know, why not? Come
The
on.
gushers of
Because
dice.
it's, feels like Friday.
All right.
It
Oh,
does.
I like
it's
that.
It does
true.
feel like Friday, doesn't it?
All
Stress
right.
level is like,
Operation Barclay. That guy ain't looking too good there.
Oh, dear.
Laying in the water. This looks like the same. Okay, so this
sleeping.
looks like the same art as that World War II game almost, but this actually is very Tintin style.
What World War II?
That-
The one we covered earlier?
Yeah, the one we covered that had a long
Oh,
page
yes,
worth of
a
stuff.
little bit, yeah.
A little bit. I really like this style. So Salt and Pepper Games is one of my favorite kind of recent companies that's just like hit the scene big time, right? They've worked with Albert Montez. This is not him. This is Meeple Foundry who's done the art. And it seems very reminiscent of that same style that was like in Resist and Witchcraft. So I like this look a lot for historical games. It looks gorgeous.
Foster the Meeple. That's the people doing the review of it.
it
Okay,
lost me
sorry.
at the poker hands. I don't understand poker hands.
Ah, this one looks really good, man.
This
It's a weird, like, bluffing, yeah, kind of poker-ish.
Yeah.
You build a hand, you compare that. Whoever has the most of this thing gets these tokens. The most of that thing,
Yeah.
they get these tokens. There's some tokens that get revealed on the board. It's a bluffing type deal. I do worry that from a glance of it, I do worry that it might be too abstracted. What's going on versus what I am doing in the game. But it looks really cool. And then you get about halfway down the page and you realize...
Did we just switch to
there's
a different
whole
game?
other game in here.
There's a whole Scott Alms game. It's 2-player thing
I didn't even
called
make it that
Kingstead.
far. I had no idea.
There's like
I was
literally,
like,
like,
what
I'm
is this?
scrolling, I'm
like,
scrolling down, I'm scrolling
already
down, I'm
out.
checking it out, I'm looking
Yeah.
at it, and suddenly I'm like, wait.
Vikings.
They're like, oh yeah, sorry, we stuck something else in here. It's not going to have its own crowdfunding. It's
Oh.
just in here. I'm like, what? What? And so that's its own game.
It's a
I feel
really
like they
small little
I
game.
even read
It's
the
22.
rule book for that. It's the same
yeah?
thing. It's one of those little 2-player games. It's just weird. They just stuck another
Is,
game in here.
is it? So you're saying it's the same game as this? What do you
no,
mean?
it's a whole other game.
Oh, really? It definitely looks.
Weird, they didn't put it in a title or anything.
That's probably the more surprising thing. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we're bundling 2 games together.
Right.
Cool. We've seen that a lot, right?
It's just really bizarre.
Is there any connection? Like, is it also poker hands and
No.
and
No.
taking? Oh, interesting. I'm interested in
It
it.
does make that more interesting. All right.
Yeah.
NAWALLI, the Aztec card game, 2nd edition. So I got the 1st edition of this game. Well, it looks exactly the same. I'm not sure there's a lot of differences here. This is one of those kind of, you're putting out these characters. There's this whole big, hey, you draft the different characters, pick them, you have your little deck of characters. They're different gods and things. Unfortunately, and this is my biggest problem with the game, is the original one had these 4 cards here like this, all with these special abilities written in stuff that's hard to read, and then those symbols are on the cards, and you glance at those symbols and it's like, what does that do? And so I'm cross-referencing with these cards, and it made the game unfun.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I get to do this. What ability do I have? Oh, and look at this. He's colorized them now, so that's better.
It looks easier to quick reference. Yeah.
I still would rather them just be on the cards. You know? It's...
I had the same issue. I played that one too when it came in, and it was like, no. You talk about how trading card games have keywords.
Yeah.
You have to like learn what like haste means.
Yeah.
What, whatever means. This is like just that.
See, and if it's a symbol base of that, then it's like no, because we played another one recently that had that, and it was like the symbol
symbols
for it had
don't-
no connection to what it did. And you're
Yeah.
like, but what's it do? I have to keep looking up what it does, and
Right.
it was so frustrating.
Right.
Where it's like at least haste, it's like. All right, I can make some pneumatic connection to a theme somewhere. Now I know what haste means. A symbol of an eyeball that means haste. I'm like, how am I ever going to remember that means
Right.
slap your neighbor?
Sure.
You know.
Eagle symbol, right? The different Mesoamerican symbols.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that he was trying to be very thematic here with all these things, and it just
It
didn't
seems
work
well
for me.
researched. I like again, and the designer here, the publisher, also speaks of like all the pantheons get used over and over and over again, which is very true, especially in board gaming. But this pantheon doesn't really. So I'm glad that that's a choice and something that is being featured. The usability is a problem, and I really, when I first saw that they were doing a 2nd edition of this, I thought, here we go, all those issues solved.
Yeah.
No, this is more of a reprint than anything.
Yeah, because I do remember even the first Kickstarter where you were psyched about this, and then the
Yeah.
disappointment
Yeah.
when it came. Yeah.
All right, Imperfect Crimes, pop-up escape book. So pop-up things, this is not the first time this has been done. Is it the same company that did the other?
Yeah, they've done a ton of these things. I don't know if it's the same one you're thinking of, but they've done
No,
a
not
bunch
quite,
of
but
these.
they've done other escape.
Yeah.
I don't think I have played or touched any of these. This Cyberpunk Unfolds. That's interesting. Crime Unfolds. Okay, well, so this is kind
What
of
they do.
similar along that line. The folks from Spain. The idea of pop-ups and exploring them is a neat concept. It's sometimes tricky because you're like moving stuff around the table. We found that usually we put them on top of something and that we could, like a
Yeah.
Lazy Susan would be great.
Yeah.
I feel like these are also a big hindrance for them is the production. Like they have to be well produced because any paper moving on paper pop-up kind of things, a lot of times are only as good as the quality of production.
Right,
You know, like is it glued properly? Is it folded properly? Or does the house always kind of lean over? So then you're like, hold on. Oh, now I see if you stand the house up, there's something behind the tree. You know, like.
I assume yes, though, because this is their 7th one and they're making 78,000. So I assume that the other ones are good.
I would as well. I would still want to see one, and then it's like, oh, yep, it's all I wanted. You know, but that's kind of my one concern is I've never seen one in person.
Man, I'd pop up such nostalgic. I remember as a kid thinking
sure.
pop-up books were the best.
Oh,
You open a book and it pops up, and like, wow,
yeah.
Wondering why.
what is this
more books-
technology?
Yeah, why weren't all books pop-up books?
Yeah.
This is the future that I wanted. All pop-ups.
All right. Our third pirate game, the Pirate Republic Africa Gambit. This is from another company, Tom Butler, Greenfest Games.
Green feet.
Green Feet. I don't know why I said Green Fest. They did a game in the past that me and Mike really enjoyed, Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. Then they did Paradise Lost, which is... okay, but I really like the Lincoln Assassination one. This one here is a second edition of this game, or it's another version of the Pirate Republic. So Tom tries to be very historical with his game, but also fun, but there's a lot of stuff here.
It's like chock full of stuff. That's my main takeaway was, my goodness, there's a whole lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, I know the rule book was super dense for this.
Yes, I actually did go through the rule book. There's a lot going on, but it certainly is one because I like historical games where it seems like the history matters, if that makes sense. And I'd rather something look more interesting. I think this looks actually... So there's two Blackbeard games, or this one's not Blackbeard, but Blackbeard's in this game.
Yeah.
I think the other one looks like a better game.
Okay.
But this one looks like it's more historical. I don't know, they both look good. Too bad they're going against each other, I suppose. Timing-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
On Kickstarter, I mean. But hey, you can get, if you want pirates, that's the third one.
If you're a big Blackbeard fan, it's an embarrassment of Blackbeard riches.
Trekking New World 2nd Edition and Bucket List Expansion. This one we did on our Summer Spectacular. This was a paid playthrough that we did. But you were already a fan of the original game, Trekking the World.
Absolutely, yeah. And this one changes it quite a bit. And to the point that I'm not sure if you are a fan of the first one, if you should use that as a correlation as to whether you will or will not like this one.
What about Trekking Through History? So I never played Trekking the World. You did, and I played Trek Through History, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Is this closer to Trekking Through History, or is it closer to Trekking Through the World 1st Edition?
It's closer to Trekking the World 1st Edition than Trekking Through History, yeah. Trekking Through History has a Racco-type mechanism where you're like putting, historical events in order. You can break that and start again. You're collecting stuff. It doesn't really have anything to do with this. Just the original game of this was Ticket to Ride-esque. You draw cards, and you spend turns drawing, and then you can play cards to traverse the world, go somewhere, turn in symbols from your hand, and collect a place, right? So they've done away with having a hand of cards. Like, literally doesn't exist. Cards you hold. You no longer collect symbols. You now just pick a card and it lets you know how much you move, how much money you take, and a third thing, and then you spend that money, which was not a concept in the original game, to buy a place that you go to.
I think the third thing is if you end in the right color zone, then that's when you get the cubes for your suitcase.
That's what it is. Yeah. I was just skipping it purposefully.
I
would skip nothing.
I put both of these in the library because we were originally replacing the 1st edition, but you said they're different enough.
They really are very different, I think.
I think different audiences will be attracted to them.
Yeah. Again, if you are interested in the first one, or you played the first one and liked it, whatever, I would actually encourage you to try both. Because I think, I don't know, I'm curious. Some people I think will go, oh, this is too different from what I wanted in the first one. And I think some people will go, oh, wow, I can teach this to more people now. Or it's more strategic, whatever. So, yeah, it's an interesting game. And the production we saw an early production, basically, kind of.
Yeah.
But already you can tell,
It's
wow,
phenomenal.
this is incredibly well made.
It's
very tactical game.
close to finish, too.
Yeah.
All right, Europa Universalis TPoP, Defying Your Destiny expansion plus reprint. Whew. The price of power. TPoP. This one's doing
TPoP
very
in the
well.
house.
This is not the first time this game has come out, right?
No,
this
man.
is a big grandiose game. In fact, I believe I've seen people organizing games of it next week at Dice Tower East. I think I saw some people like, oh, we're going to play
I'm in one
this
of those,
game.
actually.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You're teaching it, I believe.
TPoP.
2 tables at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to play this or not. Like, I love Civilization-style games, and this one feels like it might just cross that line of being too big.
A little too much. A lot of like hidden, semi-public information on the board that can then kind of become, oh yeah, I placed out these things that were traps because we were in an alliance, but now I was suspecting that you were going to backstab me, that you put tokens out, so I put tokens out to untoken your tokens.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this page. It's just, how is this useful? For them to show me a picture of every card laid out. I can't read the things.
Right.
Well, I think part of it is for people who have, again, I think a lot of people, this is a war game, and for people who already enjoyed the first one, they're probably super excited, and as they should be. A new deluxe version is coming out here.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah.
And they want to know those fine details of it.
What did they say the game length? Yeah, 4 hours. Like, I like that. It's 1 to 6 players, 4 hours. Do you have 2 players? 4 hours. 6 players. There's got to be a time range in there somewhere.
Probably.
Ooh-wee.
All right. Well, still, it's cool. I'll take pictures of the people playing at Dice Diaries
100%.
because I'm pretty sure I'll walk by their table while they're playing it. Rise of the Wastelands. This cover really reminds me of another game, but I don't know what. I feel like I've seen this before, or maybe it's this game and I've just seen this cover before.
This was in the announcements video in the Summer Spectacular.
Okay, that's where I saw it.
Oh.
Okay.
Is this the one where they spun around in circles for a long time?
Might have been.
Spun around in circles.
Yeah, it is. Oh, no, that's a different game I'm thinking of. Anyway, this one looks cool.
No, that was a different. Yeah.
Anytime you
4X
make plastic
style game.
miniatures carrying cubes.
There is
in.
something about that, right? I mean, like
I do
a
like
mini
that.
that
Yeah.
has a place for you to put something on or in the mini. It's a dumb thing, but
I mean, I think it's
fun.
I love it when it's useful too. It's like if it's a pick up and deliver mechanism, for
Right.
example, it's going from here to here. This is physically on this. It's not in my supply, and I have to remember that I'm using that cube for that, so I don't actually accidentally use it for something else. You know, I
true.
really like game organization-wise when it does stuff like that.
I think this looks good, and I like that the board is not too. The board is very clean because
Yeah.
you're putting a lot of pieces on that board. And maybe it's because I just played a game where the board was not clean, and putting stuff on the board was a nightmare. And it looks like there's a lot of stuff in this game. I'm kind of interested in this one. What was their first?
This
Stellar
art is also
Expedition.
amazing. Some of
what?
my favorite art of the week.
Yeah.
I
really?
love the look of this.
Yeah, this looks cool. It's got a lot of moving parts. Is my sort of trepidation towards it is that it looks scary. It
Yeah.
looks like a lot, but I like the theme certainly, and I like the vibe here. It
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of a galactic Waste Knights a little bit. As of the vibe
Okay.
of Waste Knights, but in space on some planet.
I could see that.
And it's a 4X game, which
Yeah.
that other one isn't. But
It is one that immediately I would watch the minis or something just to kind of give it that grunge because they definitely stand out. You know, the color choices
Oh,
so that
gotcha.
kind of takes
Yeah.
away from that. But and I think one of the mechanisms that I really love is action points. But I love when action points have varying action points. Like you can do this for 1 point. You know, these 3 things for 1 point. There's one that's like 3 of your 3 points. It's like your whole turn. I really like that. Like those. You
I
can
think if
you can do 1 of the 2 and then 1 of the 1, or 1 of the 3, or 3 of the 3s, or
I think if the values for the different actions aren't different, then you couldn't call it an action point system. It would just be you have 3 actions.
I guess so. I mean, I guess I was trying to say.
So,
I guess so. I guess I think I
pedantic,
was.
but like,
I guess you are. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like an action point system, something better be not just one.
Okay. I guess
Otherwise
I was
it's
thinking
not an
compared
action
to like
point system.
Pandemic, and I've always considered that like action point. But I guess you're
You're
right.
wrong.
So okay.
What?
Well, I think it's
I'm
cool. I
wrong
guess
with you.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm on her side on this. I don't know what
Pandemic-
you're
Yeah,
talking
because you don't want to
about.
get stabbed.
Okay.
I'm not scared of the stabbings.
Dice-a-palooza.
This took me a while to
Point of
unravel.
view. You step into an extravagant and colorful dice-themed event.
Yes.
You've never felt joy like this. You
I've never
want to
felt joy,
eat
full stop.
everything. What
else
Yeah.
you got?
That's a weird
Also, it's not
intro.
a campaign. It's a party. This is a 30-day party. and your
Wormwood.
invitation. It's one of those.
Whatever, it's
It's so weird.
Wormwood
Like it
being
took me a
Wormwood.
while to. I was like, oh, are they actually doing something like running a con? Nope.
Nope.
Oh, are they actually? Nope. Oh, are they edible? Nope. Like, there's a lot of nopes I had to go through to figure out what this was.
This is like when the rule book of a game says you got to florp you have to florp the renegade power to something, and you're like, what? Like, draw a card and play it out.
Oh, got it.
Boy, I really like this opalite die right there. I think that one looks great, especially with the 20 being red.
Yes.
I think that pops. The prismatic glass I want to like in theory. I just can't read it. But I like how that one looks.
Yeah, the prisma, yeah.
But I mean, the die, the 20 being a different color, I enjoy that.
That's not a bad idea. It's better than a symbol, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Yes.
Not like when
Absolutely.
it's like, oh, it's our Phoenix logo. I'm like, no, I don't care if it's Phoenix. Put
Come
a
get your
20
Dice
on it.
Tower dice.
No, it has a 6 in there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not everyone notices that. I tell many people, like, you're right, there's 6 pips inside it.
Yeah, get with the times, people.
All right. Anyway, I like.
If we make a D20, can we put 20 pips in there?
No, I just put the number 20 in it, I think is what we did.
And a dice tower around it?
Lame.
Yes.
Oh. I think at this point, though, with dice, I really want to see them in person. You know, I think I'm just kind of getting like dice fatigue
But
on
good
Crowdsurfing.
news for you is because
Oh, man.
conventions have so many dice stands now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Someone was saying, they came back from Origins, they're like, too many dice.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and so why would I back it if I can go there and see some of these specialty things? Or if you don't go to conventions, all the local game stores have that. Like, it just seems like, for me personally, I'm past backing dice.
Well, and so these shots are obviously like so well staged.
Yeah.
Your dice will probably never look like that when you're rolling them on your
Unless
table.
they're this big and filled with liquid.
Wow, how
and
long is this
$99,
project?
Tom.
That's true. Only $99.
Okay, see,
Liquid.
I'm going to be able to withstand that. Then there's metal dice.
Metal, you say?
They're very expensive. You want the big 20 here?
Look
That's
how-
160.
Way
Oh
more
my gosh.
than liquid
You
core.
can get almost 2 liquid cores.
That one, if you roll on your table.
And the neighbors underneath, you find out.
Oh, look, it comes in its own little wooden crate.
Well,
Did you guys see that?
Legally,
That's funny.
it's made of some sort of like radioactive aluminum, I'm sure.
Yeah, try to carry that in your carry-on in the airport. They'll be like, sir,
It's
what is in
benign.
your bag there? It's a 20-sided die. You're going to be talking to them for a while.
Oh, it's called the T20.
All right, Sovereign, Fall of Wormwood. Not
Yeah, that
the company we were just talking about.
definitely gave me pause when I was going through the project. I was like, what?
I didn't even notice that till now. Those are right after each other.
Yeah, you had that issue, huh?
I did.
You're like, wait a second.
I had to double
Oh.
check.
Yeah, so this one very much reminds me of that other one we looked at earlier, which is like a trading card game in a box. Much wordier, right? Doesn't have the collecting sets symbology that the other one was giving me, that feeling. Combat heavy, it seems. But the world building here seems fun, seems rich, seems detailed. Apparently it's from a guy who is like a filmmaker or was a filmmaker, and this idea seems, the setting really, seems very well developed. The factions are like, have a deep bench.
I agree. That was the first thing that jumped out to me. It's like, oh, this type of card game might not be my bag or whatever.
Right.
But the way he was describing each of the factions, like it sounds like there's going to be some interesting asymmetry there, just by nature of what they are and the backstory and how that ties in mechanically.
I was
impressed.
digging this one, and again, I'm a fan of this kind of game anyway. This is one of the better looking ones in a while, I would say. I feel like we see one or two on this one.
All right. Hexplore It. I believe this is their 5th one in this series, and they're still going strong on these. Hexplore It is an
You played
adventure
these, right?
style game. I played one. And I played that one after watching an hour-long video on how to play.
You played one as in the first one or one of them?
I think it was the first one.
Okay.
But yes, just a single one. So it's a game in which the closest thing I would compare it to would be the Rune-bound 2nd edition
okay.
or whatever from Fantasy Flight, because you're moving around a map, monsters show up, and you fight with whiteboards, which is, I don't know if
What?
Like dry erase boards?
Yeah, little dry erase boards that you keep track of your stats on.
Oh, I thought you meant. That hurts.
Yeah. This looks like they definitely have upgraded their quality, though. These cards and everything look better. The they have in all these. Yeah, this is fifth. It has a big V on the side there. So yes, it's the fifth one. They have all these classes. So you're going to take two things. You'll take like a race and then a class, and their class could be anything. Like one was like drunk, you know, whatever.
I love that.
And
Drunk elves. Yes.
and I know they all mix together.
Yes,
So I
please.
got, I think, the third one, opened it up, looked at it, and was like, oh, this is neat. They're still making all these races and all these things and all this stuff. It's just too much
Yeah,
for me. And I
yeah.
played it solo because it's made to be played either co-op or solo. And it works. It just, I want the game to do a little bit more of the work for me. And the game also has a thing in it that I don't know that I love, which is like the talisman thing where you're walking around and, oh, there's a goblin who attacked me. And then later on, a dragon. You know, and you can run or whatever and stuff, but
There's not like a sensible ramp up.
it's not,
Oh,
there
I thought
is
you
some
meant
sort
It's
of
not
ramping
sensible.
I thought you meant the dragon became the elf or whatever you said.
But look at, I mean, and there's also, see these?
I wasn't actually listening.
Then there's the bosses and all kinds of stuff. There's a decent amount of rules and everything, but I get this is a lifestyle game that people are going to like, and I'm glad they're doing well because it feels different.
I've heard a lot of people, this is their solo game of choice.
Yes.
Would you said it's solo or co-op, would you be interested in playing it co-op if somebody knew, if this was their lifestyle game and they knew all the rules and would be able to take that rule overhead?
Feel like it's a trap?
I'm not offering.
No, I think so, but like, by the way, look here. This
He
shows
does or
you.
does not think
And
so.
he says, I don't think so.
I don't. Well, maybe I would.
Okay.
It's not a particularly long game.
Who's this person?
I don't know. I'm just asking like if it was intriguing enough.
Anyway, look at there's
that
the
lifting was
boards.
being done for you.
What are some of their other favorite games?
I don't know this
Okay,
person.
so anyway,
do I know this person?
Look at the. Stop with your jokes sometimes. Okay, look at the boards here.
Yeah, I see them.
So like, see, this one's called the Thread Mage and the Mycotomancer. They're really have to stretch to come up with new classes. And then down here, Void Touch, Saurian,
Void touch.
the Young Green Dragon,
that
Hexan.
sounds-
Those are the races, and the top ones are the classes. So they've used all the.
meaningless.
Well, but they're all different, and the combo is also neat. It's like you have this class and this thing, and they're really
Yeah.
cool
So
combos
it's gonna be
together.
the Void Touch, my Sotomancers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just add drunk
Again,
at
there's
the front of
nothing.
that.
I get no flavor from
think
that.
there should be
Those
a
are two
class.
meaningless
Well,
things
standard.
together.
Yes, but there are. If you flip the boards over, there's a lot of flavor. They will
Okay.
explain what they do.
Drunk elves.
Okay.
Immediately, I've got an idea in my head. You know what I mean?
This
Yeah.
next project here really is surprising me how low it's doing. Because I thought Phantom Ink was a pretty big
I
hit.
thought so too. Yes, I had the
Unless-
same thought.
Unless it's a big hit retail, you know what I mean? And not
Oh,
Kickstarter.
maybe.
I don't know how
But I
well
thought-
it did. It was on Kickstarter, right?
Was
the
it
first one?
originally?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
didn't know
think
that.
so.
Mary Flanagan,
I know. I
yeah.
just saw it at the convention for the first time.
I agree.
At Gen Con, I think maybe.
Right there.
Is that the one where they had the
Ghost
giant
Riders, what
Yeah.
it was
glass
originally
case
called.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Right there,
super cool.
Ghost
Oh, it
Rider.
was called Ghost Rider?
Yeah, then they changed it to Phantom Ink when it came out. Yeah.
Oh.
Click it.
Yeah, this is
Don't do it.
definitely
You're gonna
this
get
is
so much
definitely
money.
of all the games that they've made. This made 34,000. That's weird
Okay.
because but I know it got nominated for awards. People talk
Yeah,
about it,
maybe.
very positive
Everywhere. It's,
reviews.
Target
That's really
is everywhere.
interesting.
Yep. So maybe it's just does better in the
I think
post Kickstarter
yeah,
market.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'll do well if it goes to Walmart or something.
One thing I loved that it came with the big window cling that you can get and a wet erase marker instead of the dry erase. So that if
That's
you're
a
playing
thing?
like at a party, yeah, it's a window so you can put it up on. Did you see it? It's like one of the things you can get. It's like a big one of it that you could put up on the window, and then
I did not.
rather than a
Cool.
little thing that 12 people are crowding around to see.
That's pretty
The
cool.
big-
I was stuck on the wet erase
Really
versus
neat.
dry erase. I guess that
prefer-
would work better on a bigger board because then you just use a rag to.
Yeah,
rub it down.
I prefer in almost all situations, game-wise, I prefer wet erase.
Really? Oh
do.
man, it's so. I get that it doesn't
Me
easily
too.
erase, but then every time I'm like, give me a wet rag.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's better. I like wet erase better.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But then you need wet rags at the table to wipe
Like a
stuff
piece
up.
of paper
You get a
towel
piece of
with
yeah.
some spit. You're good to go.
I don't have a dog
I
in
cleaned
this
all your
fight.
boards that way.
Okay. Anyhow, Valerius.
Come to the Dice Tower.
A game of interstellar warfare. This is from Boss Dog Games, and this has animal aliens. Well, that's what it looks like. Valerius. They all look like animals, don't they? Like
No, it looks like not always. They had some just very, very.
Yeah, like
they're
fish.
Anime.
bird, rabbit.
That guy at the bottom, though, what's he? The chunky guy on the right.
It looked like he had a snake head to me.
Well, it's
He looked froggy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, reptilia.
Anyway, yeah, this looks like crap.
I don't know that it's as bad as you're saying, although this does not sell me on the game, right? Like, look at that, we stuck you in there. Like, no,
Oh.
don't do that.
Please tell me that's
Ooh.
proof of concept and not
yeah,
final.
and not like oof.
I don't know that I want to like this. What other games have these folks done? This is their fifth one. Let's see what other games they've done. Ninja Sloths, Boss Dog the card game, Beware of Bears, and Farting Frenchies. I have definitely heard of Farting Frenchies because most of the time...
No, you know what? I guess I don't have high hopes for this after all.
Okay.
But
well,
he is the best dog. Look at him. I like their logo.
All right. Tsukiyumi, I can't pronounce that word, Amaterasu Rising.
You nailed it.
All right. So Tsukiyumi, which was originally from... King Raccoon Games, that's what it is. It was then picked up by Gray Fox Games, and I guess they're doing a joint project here. I'm not actually sure. It's underneath King Raccoon Games, not underneath
Gray Fox.
Was the last one underneath them too? Yes, it was. Okay, this one big one down here. The last game they did was that EOS Island of Angels, which I really did enjoy that game.
I like that game a lot.
It's kind of funny because if you said describe EOS, I'd be like, it's this great game with all these things going on, but some production problems, and could have been streamlined just a tad, right?
Yes.
And I've not played Tsukiyumi, but I've heard the exact same things. Some production problems could be streamlined a tad.
Oh yeah. I mean, EOS, I would say it would probably be like top 20 games for me if like a second edition that just tweaked a very couple things. But even as it is, I really, really like it.
It's a really fun theme. This is also a fun theme, as you know, like this stuff on this planet here. Is it the moon, I think, that you're fighting over? And I guess
the moon falls to the earth, and inside of the moon is a giant kaiju.
It's an egg.
Wasn't it a whale? I forget.
What?
It's an egg of a monster or whatever. You're fighting. No, whales are one of the races. Land walking whales.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It was
So-
right
Are you being
underneath.
funny?
No.
Oh.
No, that was actually part of the thing. Right underneath Pimone and Tumba miniatures.
I think I get it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly what you think
You
it
haven't
is.
seen the movie.
Oh, they're right here.
Mufasa.
The Borderland miniatures. You mean those
wow.
two right there?
That is.
No, they were actually named characters somewhere. Yeah, there was someone named.
Ooh. See, I don't like insects, but if I can run an insect army, I'm all in. I don't know why.
yeah.
It's because insects were made to fight. That's why they're small, and if they were bigger, I would run and they would all kill me. But I'm okay.
They were made to fight?
What?
Yeah, okay, so let's say in a house there's a spider.
Yeah.
I feel like he's there to kill me.
Yeah.
That's why I kill him first.
Yeah.
No, you put him out. Oh, okay.
I'm with you so far.
Okay,
Keep it going.
let's say in the corner there's a little tank rolling around that came out of the corner, and I also want to kill that too.
Yes.
But if insects are big and we're using them in warfare, I'm all for it. As long as
Wait.
I'm not involved in the battle at all.
So would you want
okay.
that spider to attack the tank? Is what you're saying?
yes,
It would be epic.
that would be epic.
I would watch it. I have to admit.
Have you seen Eight-Legged Freaks? That's what I want. The miniatures look really good in this.
This game looks neat. Always has looked neat. I've never played it either, but
There's so many
it's such a
expansions.
bizarre setting. It's such a weird world. The mythology in it is just kind of kooky. I don't know. And again, if they keep tightening, refining, that's good. That's good for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we made it through the games. We have a couple non-game projects, then we'll do our picks of the week. First, we have the 3-in-1 Smart Battery Charger Tester and Organizer.
If this is for real, it's like a game changer. Like if it actually works like it looks like, or like it's saying it would. That's
I
amazing.
agree, and Z showed it to me, and I would buy this on the spot, but not off Kickstarter.
Why? Because it's
Why?
tech? You big chicken? What are the chances it'll suck again?
Yeah, this is something I'm waiting for, like the general reviews.
So
to
this
be like,
reminds me-
It actually works.
It'll probably never go to retail, right?
I think by the time this comes out, AA won't be in use anymore.
I don't. This reminds me of those coin things where you pour a bunch of coins in and it sorts them all out for you.
Yeah.
And I always thought those are cool. This does it with your batteries, but also checks to see if they're charged or not. Or if they're dead. It's crazy cool.
Right. And then they just line up there at the bottom. It's always fresh batteries. None of this like 4-step system we have over here that I still don't understand.
To be fair, I showed it to Tom. I saw this and I'm like, you might want to look at this.
Yeah.
I do think this could be revolutionary. Again, assuming it actually does what the box says, right?
So
they're not cheap either.
How much is it?
$100?
Oh
no.
my gosh.
I feel like that's worth $100.
Tom,
Absolutely,
but
Tom.
Does this have a liquid core?
Well,
No,
it
this
has
is
batteries,
useful. What are
which
you
have
talking
acid.
about?
I mean, yeah.
I hate to say it again, but liquid core.
No, I think you should get this. That's my whole thought.
There's a part in the video
very
where the
deep.
kid throws a battery into it from across the room.
That'll be me.
And if we don't do that every single time, then it was not worth buying.
Okay.
You're going to break it.
Anyhow, there's a ton of different looks. Here's the thing.
Can you pick your color?
I'm going to be very, very patient on this. If this comes out and it works and it's well, it will then be produced.
Not necessarily. This could be your one shot.
No, that's not how tech works. If tech is
It's
good.
almost
don't
$1
know.
million, Tom. Of course
Tom.
it's going to be good.
Yeah. $1
All
million
It's
can't be
basically
wrong.
$10 million.
Speaking of $1 million, no, this is $500,000. Gamers Forge, Dorkness Falls.
Have you seen any of these
I don't know what
films?
to say.
Well, here, I pulled up one for us to watch
Okay,
briefly.
Oh, good,
Oh.
thank you.
This is
Yeah,
the
okay.
first one, Gamers Dorkness Rising. So what it is a bunch of people playing an RPG, but then they will switch to them actually
In the
doing the
RPG.
combat. So
Oh, I
It's-
love that they're like that they're like in
They're
a video
waiting.
game. Like they're in the pulsating.
well, sure, because it's all based on D&D. Then they make fun of that in this. I've not watched the whole thing
Wait.
through.
Why haven't we done this?
Because
Budget?
Hold on.
Budget? What are we
Hold on.
talking about?
Hold on. I
It
need to
only
re-
takes $500,000.
yeah, I need to redefine my job description real quick. I want to do this.
Anyway, here's the thing. This is going to be campy to some degree, but I was looking at the thumbs. There's 800,000 up, 300 down. That's a pretty good ratio.
800,000.
It's got 1.4 million views. This came out 11 years ago, and it's by the same people. So this is part 4. I just did a quick search, and I found that one on YouTube.
It's the same guys, same people who are making it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but it's cool.
I might go watch that whole movie with sometime just like out of the corner of my eye when I'm working and see if it's any good or not. I watched that brief part, and she was showing off.
funny, right?
Yeah, it's funny, and it's definitely made by geeks for geeks.
I want to do this. I want to fight a warehouse, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, the budget has gone up a few $100,000.
Yeah, no
And then
kidding.
finally, EcoTrek Overalls Made from Ocean Buoys with GoFly Zipper.
Buoys.
Buoys. What?
What?
No.
Oh. Not what I heard.
Them Ocean Boys coming to the yard.
All right.
Sometimes it's hard to love you. Ocean Boys.
Over my mispronunciation.
They gotta also think when you speak.
Yeah, whatever. I'm okay with it.
These pans that have
Yeah.
a zipper that opens across your entire
Okay.
groin are made from Ocean Boys.
All right, whatever.
Come on, cat. How am I supposed to be in your corner?
I'm not asking you to be in my corner.
Anyway, these pants are great. You have a big zipper, yeah? And it goes all the way from the top of the booty butt to the front top. And then you can pee-pee anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, but look, all joke aside, people are saying if you go out and hike a lot and stuff, this is a fantastic thing to have. That's what I read. I wouldn't
They
know.
really-
'cause
I mean, yes,
I basically
I mean-
sit in the house.
I
And
Would
walk
you
around
wear
my
these
neighborhood.
in the house, though? And be like, these pants aren't coming off. Okay?
look what I can do on the couch.
Bring me a toilet.
Well-
I haven't worn overalls since I was like 7, maybe.
Yeah, but if you're
Right.
out like in rough terrain and stuff, I could see this.
Maybe.
I love overalls. I wish that I have a long torso, so I wish they fit better. They're, a little too familiar. Because I love them. I love the idea of this, but I don't know about a zipper all the way through your crotch all day. That seems highly uncomfortable.
I think that's the best invention. My concern is they're like rock climbing in this and like biking and stuff, and I just worry that riding up, You know what I mean? Like when you have like a one-piece thing, if you're reaching,
I don't.
you could
You're
come
riding a bicycle seat, and between you and the bicycle seat is a zipper. You know what I mean? I don't know. It better come well padded.
Right.
Yeah.
It
All
seems
right.
like, ooh.
I don't want to think too much more about this. That's it for the projects. We're going to do picks of the week. We'll start with Mr. Mike DeLisio, who's probably going to
Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio coming to you from the Dice Tower Midwest Annex. For this week's Crowdsurfing, my pick of the week is going to be Operation Barclay from Salt and Pepper Games. And this one is primarily because of the track record of this publisher. They've done a bunch of really good two-player, unique themed games. They've done other types of games too, but this has been their wheelhouse, and they've really carved out a niche, and this looks to follow in that trend. It's a lovely looking game. I think Meeple Foundry is the one that's doing the art, and it looks like a really clever, unique, card-driven two-player game. And again, until they prove me otherwise, Salt and Pepper seems to be doing this thing as good as anybody out there. So there's my pick of the week. Let's see what else can possibly be chosen from the folks in Florida.
All right, this was a hard week for me. I'll go with Cysmic. I really enjoyed the game when I played it. I'm looking forward to putting all these minis out, but again, there was a lot of other projects that were really close. But I this one I know because I played it, and we play a lot of games live at the studio, and I don't always love them all. And this one feels like an indie project to some degree, but I like the concept of building that tower. But felt you never liked that Pillars of the Earth where you built the cathedral in the middle, but I like that. It just has a satisfying feel. You can see where you are in victory.
Yeah.
So that's me, Seismic.
I hadn't had a chance. I somehow missed looking at Unstoppable, so I think I want to look a little further. That might have been mine, but it's not because I haven't looked at it. It's going to be the very first one, the Wildlands, a co-op and solo game, whatever.
What is it? Wastelandia.
Wastelandia. I'm sorry. Wastelandia. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this. I like it a lot. I like the idea of the variability. You pick your character, but also the variability with just the quick setup. You open it up, you roll some dice, you use your powers to mitigate them. You see if you live through the counterattack, and then you loot. You know, like I think you said, it's kind of like that roguelike game. It kind of has that feel to it. I'm really, really intrigued by it, so I'm super excited. And I think it's absolutely adorable.
This was almost my pick. This would be number 2, but I'm going to go with that Fall of Wormwood one. What is it called?
I just remember it's right after Wormwood. So.
Yeah. Just
Sovereign, that's what it's called. Sovereign Fall of Wormwood is my pick. I like the artwork. I like the setting. I like the vibe here. I liked the guy who made it in the video, was very personable, spoke eloquently about the project and what it is, what he's hoping for. This is how you sell something like this to me anyway. I think it's well put together. I want to try this game.
All right, and then my pick of the week is actually going to be the same as Mike's, and that is the Salt and Pepper game, Operation Barclay. Everything that Mike said about it, man. Like I thought about just trying to repeat back what he said verbatim, but he kept talking. I was like, well, I've forgotten it now.
But what about the other game with the secret game involved?
I'm really looking forward to that one as well, actually, because I like when Scott Alms works outside of the Tiny Epic series. I think a lot of his best stuff is
I agree on that. And I think sometimes it gets overlooked, too.
I agree. Yeah. Like Beer and Bread. He did a fantastic job. 2-player head-to-head game focus.
That's right,
Well, I don't think that one's overlooked. That one definitely got accolades, but
Yeah. I like his 2-player stuff a lot, so I'm excited about that. But this one here, Maurice Suckling's the Operation Barclay looks so interesting. It looks abstracted, but looks like it's doing that spy fair and counterintelligence stuff really interestingly.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone picked one?
Yeah.
That's it. We got to go. That was a long one. We'll be back live tomorrow morning with another smorgasbord, and then our top 10. What's tomorrow?
A.
Games that begin with the letter
Games that
A.
begin with the letter A. Woo! Alphabet time. We'll see you then. Until next time, I'm Tom Basil.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Camilla.
And I'm Chris Yade.
I should wear my Sesame Street tie.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out What's Happening, where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.